As you can see there, where I'm sat at the table here, we've got some of those raku pots that I was doing, remember, a few clips back, and I promised you I would show you some of the results. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, some of the ugly ones actually we've already launched. So anyway, I thought I'd just bring the camera down here. As you can see behind me, I've got the kiln there, which I'm also working on. But we'll talk about that in another clip, because there's maybe quite a lot to say here about some of these raku pots. So I'm not going to mix things up too much. Alright, so let's just bring the camera a little closer so you can see some of the things that we've been doing. Let's see now. What I want to do is to try to get this in such a way that this camera, I want to zoom in, well, not zoom in, I want to go to the macro. Should be a little bit more crisper and in focus, as it were. Okay, that'll have to do. Yeah, I mean, there's not maybe not a great deal to say other than these. They're self-explanatory, really. You may remember some of these from the previous video clips that I did. This is a 80-10-10. All of these are the 80-10-10 glaze recipe that I use. 80% ferro-frit and 10% flint and 10% kaolin. Okay, and the decoration, I just use some copper carbonate. Quite nice crackle on that, I think you'll agree. Again, this is exactly the same. I don't know if you can see, there's like a blemish there. I don't know if you remember, but at one time when I was lifting these up, one of them went over on its side, didn't it, like that? And that's where it made contact with the kiln shelf. So it's kind of rough there. Trimmed foot on these. And it's always nice, I think, with a raku pot, to show the black. I like the blackness and the contrast, especially with this white glaze. Okay, let's move on. Oh, the telephone. Excuse me, folks. Call from Major Joel. Joel? Yeah, hey, can I call you back? I'm in the middle of doing a clip. Call me in 20 minutes or so. Thanks. Okay, cheers, bye. Well, there's a call there from my good friend Joel Megan from California. Anyway, where were we? Yes, this, you see, I like this kind of pot because you have the black and the white, the contrast. And this is trailed down across. You hold the pot at an angle and then just let it run across in a random fashion. Sometimes the crisscrosses are fairly uniform, sometimes the runs don't go exactly in a uniform way, but it doesn't really matter. I quite like that. Okay. This is another small tea bowl, again with a poured decoration, and with some splatterings of copper carbonate. I don't know if you can see them here, these little copper carbonate flecks. Trimmed foot. There's that one. Another tea bowl here. This is a little bit more of a wispy, abstract kind of decoration. Trimmed foot. You know, it's sometimes when you're doing a pot, you're not quite sure. You're not exactly sure how it's going to come out, are you? There's always an element of surprise, and you make your best effort, but the kiln does the rest, and that's why we love pottery, isn't it? It's like there's always a surprise. There's also, you know, there's the negative surprises and there's the positive surprises. This is a small tea bowl. Again, this is just simply poured down the side. In fact, I don't know if you can see this, but I was using actually here a the silver nitrate in one of the. There's two glazes here. You see, there's a white one, and then it's got a very slight sheen to it. It hasn't really come out as they were. Can you see that bit of sheen there? It hasn't really come out as I really wanted it to. I used to do these actually in Spain using silver nitrate, and I used to get a much better result, but I haven't really, to be honest. I am using different material for doing the reduction. I used to use straw, and I used to get some fantastic flashings and nice colours. I recommend straw to you as a really good material for doing your reducing in. Anyway, another one of these bowls with the trimmed foot, and then the kind of grassy feel. Well, that's what I've tried to achieve, a grassy feel, a feeling of grasses blowing in the breeze in a field. And can you see I've put a few little seed heads there. Give the feeling of grass, you know, when you look out on a field of barley or wheat, and the heads are bending over in the breeze, and you see these. This has got a rather nice crackle on the inside, hasn't it? Altogether, a fairly pleasing piece, I think. Maybe you don't think so, I don't know. Now this was one where I looked at it and I thought, well, because when I actually threw this, I don't know if you can see it's got lines on the outside here, so horizontal lines going all the way around. I didn't feel I wanted to complicate things by trying to put a glaze over that. I thought just leave it in its natural state. But on the inside, I did put some glaze, but I didn't take it right up to the rim, right up to the top. As you can see, I let it stop about half an inch down, which I think works. It gives a crisp, clean look to the pot. What do you think? I think it does. You can see a certain blotchiness of the black. It's slightly shiny and it's duller. I think that was actually really down to I was using wood shavings to do this reduction. And in my experience, if you use wood shavings, I think if I'd used more finer, powdery sawdust, I would have got a more consistent blackness. I think that would have been better. I think the blotchiness here interferes with the cleanness of these lines. Can you see that? Okay. Somebody said in one of the comments, "Golly, Simon, you don't half prattle on." I'm a prattler. He was from Australia, down under, and yeah, maybe I talk too much. But then if I don't talk, hang on, what else have we got? Let's show you something different. Yeah, this is a bowl. And I didn't put a decoration on the inside because this kind of bowl is very much a bowl that you see from above because it's rather shallow, if you see what I mean. And I thought I'd leave it. And I did a rather like a shooting star. I did this swirling decoration, again almost with little dots, you see, like seed heads. It gives it the feeling of movement, action. And it came out a little bit grey, the whiteness inside here, because I applied it with a, hang on, I'll show you what I applied it with. I used actually, to be honest with you, I can't remember which one I used, but I either used this one or I used this one. This one's made out of one of those cinnamon flavoured Christmas, yeah, I've got one over here hanging up actually. One of these things that over here in America we don't have these in England. But I thought afterwards, after it had lost its smell, I thought, well, maybe we could use some of the twigs to make a hakami brush that we can use, and dipping this into the glaze and then making these marks like that. Yeah, well, something you could try maybe. Let's take another one. Here we have this is a small bottle vase with a copper carbonate decoration on. In a kind of a way, the shape of the pot and the way the decoration is, the decoration kind of fits onto the pot quite well, you see, the shape of the pot. I don't know how you do your decorating, but I sometimes, when I look at the pot, I let the pot somehow tell me what kind of decoration it needs. And you know, if you let the form of the pot inspire your decoration, it's not a bad rule of thumb. Let the form of the pot somehow influence your decoration. Okay, so there's that fella. Which came out okay. You know, all of these actually came out reasonably okay, except those ones that we had to throw away because, well, they were, again, a little bottle vase with a kind of plant decoration on the side. I was quite pleased with that one. Another one of these bowls. Again, with the grassy feel to the decoration. It's nice, isn't it, with your decorations, I think, to that they have a feeling of movement happening. That something is happening. They're not just stuck on there like when they're dead, but they actually feel like something is. Whew, it's like it was a moving film, and you just froze one. You captured one image, and you caught it while it was a kind of liveliness I like. Crackle on the inside. I don't know if you can see, but just there's a mark, and that sometimes when you take your pot out with your tongs, you grip the pot and you lift it out, you often get a mark where the tongs have pinched in the molten glaze, and sometimes that can leave a small indentation sometimes, which is okay, I think. It's part of the process. The nicer and the more kind of that mark is, the cleaner. I like it. Personally, I like it when it's not like a black smudge that's kind of infused into the glaze, but it's a nice crisp, clean pinch, and it just leaves a clean indentation in the glaze. It doesn't always happen like that. With some of these, you get like a change of where the crazing changes, like there, you see. That's probably where it was pinched, where I pinched it. You have to be careful when you are. Yeah. Now this bottle vase here has got a mark there. It's quite a defined rupture in the feel of the glaze. That's where I had to pinch it to take it out, because obviously with a vase like that, you're going to nip it there to lift it out, to take it into the reduction bin. And I'm just telling you these things because this is what happens, isn't it? When we're taking pots out, these are some of the things that we encounter. Here's another one. This one actually was one I did. It was a copy of a foxglove decoration that my father used to use a great deal on a lot of his pieces. Nice little decoration, but you can see it fits nicely on the form, doesn't it, of the pot, the shape of the pot, and then this decoration. They go hand in hand. It's a very that decoration goes very well on a lot of shapes. That was why it was a very successful decoration. Again, nice crackle. Now with this particular pot, when I was scrubbing it off, when I was cleaning it, you know what happened? When I pinched it, or I don't know if I did something different, but this piece came off, you see? So, the phone again, hang on. Just a second, folks. Oh, looks like it's been answered. That's good news. Okay, so, yeah, so now when you take a pot like this and you take it out, if it's still quite hot and you quench it, now I try not to do too much quenching when the pots are very hot, but sometimes you want to look at the pot and you're interested to see what the decoration's coming out like, so you need to quench it. So if you take a bottle like that with a small neck and put it into your water, be careful, because it can half fill up with water and then it can boil the water inside the small space, and it creates a lot of steam pressure, which can, I've had necks of bottles that blow off. All right, so when you put a pot like this into your water, put it in very slowly and let the water go in, let the air and steam come out. Don't just chuck it in and submerge it. All right, do it slowly. Now, this may have been what I did wrong with this one, although I don't think I did. I really don't know why that broke off. I was cleaning it and it just suddenly came off. Again, raku pots are not that strong. They are effectively just bisque pots, aren't they? All right. Maybe we should do a video clip on how to repair how to repair your pots after you've made them and then broken them, and then how to stick them back together again. Well, a good thing about a raku pot, of course, is it's already got so many cracks on it, so I'll probably be able to successfully repair this, but I won't be able to sell it. But actually, I don't mind. I'll keep it here because it's quite a nice little pot. So that's that. Okay, I think we've got actually one more to do here. This is again a bottle vase, which I simply, with a spoon, poured the glaze just down the side. Just random pours. Just keep pouring randomly all over. I don't know about you, but I think it works very well, this kind of pouring. And sometimes it works better than other times. But in this case, I was actually very pleased, and it allowed the contrast of the whiteness of the glaze and the blackness where the glaze hadn't touched, altogether giving quite a nice, satisfying result. What do you think? I think so. I think it was, it's funny, when you take a pot out, and I've had it on the table and I've been looking at it, and it can begin to grow on you, can't it? The pot. It doesn't always appeal to you necessarily as soon as it comes out of the kiln. Don't allow pots to grow on you. Don't judge them too quickly, because your level of expectation, you may have a level of expectation, and the pot or the kiln delivers the pot to you slightly differently than you were expecting. So you are immediately maybe disappointed, and your feelings sink, and you think, all right. So don't worry about that if it happens. Just put the pot somewhere in the house around you and live with it for a few days. You may find that the pot speaks to you, and you begin to think, oh, and you think to yourself, hey, I like that pot. It's not so bad. It's growing on me each day. So, there you are. Anyway, a few thoughts there, folks, on these raku pots, and a little bit on general sort of how I kind of how I look at pots and how I my method or methodology or whatever you want to call it. Keep an open mind, and you might be surprised. Simon Leach saying, keep practicing. See you soon. Bye.